Number 1. Use a mapping diagram to determine whether the relation is a function. First, we got to determine which of the following mapping diagrams represents this relation. So, we have to identify our domain and range first. Our domain is my x values, my range is my y. When we put them in a mapping diagram, we only write each number once. If it repeats, like say we have more than one x value that's the same here, like 5 and 5, we only write it once. So we have 5, 4, 9, and 3 for my domain. So 5, 4, 9, and 3 would be A. It could also potentially be C, but since it writes it more than once, 2 4s and 2 5s, it means it's not going to be C. We got to choose A. B puts my range as my domain, and my domain is my range. It has them backwards. So A would be the choice for that one. So is it a function? For this to be a function, each domain value can only go to one range value. Since we have this 5 and this 4 going to two separate ranges, it cannot be a function. So no, it is not a function. Number 2, what is f of 4 for the function f of x equals 7x plus 5? All you got to do is substitute in 4 for x. So you have 7 times 4 is 28, plus 5 is 33. So the answer will be 33 for number 2. Using the vertical line test, we're determining if this is a function. So we were to draw a vertical line through this function. We see that it goes through every single point on that line. That means it is not a function. For it to pass the vertical line test, it needs to intersect the function only once. So this is not a function. This one, same idea. Draw vertical lines. If it only goes through the graph only once each time you draw it, then it passes and it is a function. This one passes only once it goes through it, so it is a function. Number 6. Light travels at about 186,000 miles per second. The function d of t equals 186,000 t gives the distance d of t in miles that the light travels in t seconds. How far does the light travel in 18 seconds? What we need to do is substitute in 18 for t and multiply them together. So let's do that. So replacing t with 18 and multiplying them together, we get 3,348,000. So let's type that in. Bring in 3,348,000. And that's number 6. Number 7. Find the range of the function for the given domain. Remember, domain are the x values. So take each of them and substitute them in for x to get our range. Here's my t-chart. Substituting in negative 2 in for x gives me 2 times negative 2, which is negative 4, minus 4, which is negative 8. Doing that same process for the rest of them give me negative 6, negative 4, negative 2, and 0. So let's go back and choose which choice it would be. Just remember though, you could do this on the calculator just by finding your table of values, but I'll show you that in a future video. So out of our choices, our answer will be B. That's number 7. Number 8. Find a reasonable domain and range for the function, then graph the function. So a car can travel 27 miles for each gallon of gasoline. The function d of x equals 27x represents the distance d of x in miles that the car can travel with x gallons of gasoline. The car's fuel tank holds 13 gallons. Choose the correct domain below. So domain we know is our x values, and our x values is gallons of gasoline. So if we can hold at most 13, we can have anywhere from no gallons to 13 gallons of gas. So that means our domain has to be 0 to 13. Now choose the correct range. Now the range is the output. So our smallest domain is 0. Put that in for x. Our smallest range is 0. Put in our largest domain, which is 13, in for x. 13 times 27 is 351. So that means our range will be anywhere from 0 to 351. And that's the range. Now for the graph. We know that we can have at most 351 for my highest y value. A shows you going on forever, so it can't be A. It can't be D because our domain in range, our first value is 0, 0. This is not 0, 0, so it can't be D. So either be B or C. Now our highest domain is 351. Halfway between 0 and 600 is 300. That means my highest point is above 300. For C, the highest point is not above 300. So it has to be B. And that's number 8. So number 9. A theater group is having a car wash fundraiser. The group can only spend $32 on soap, which is enough to wash 42 cars. Each car is charged $4. So for A, if C is the total number of cars washed and P is the profit, which is the independent variable and which is the dependent variable? Well, we know independent is x and dependent is y, and x is input, y is output. So number of cars is giving us the output of the profit. Cars is x, P is y. The cars is going to be the independent variable, P is going to be the dependent variable. So that means our answer is going to be A. Now B is the relationship between C and P a function. We're going to say yes because each domain value is mapped to only one range value, so yes. For C, write an equation showing this relationship. We know each car is charged $4, so we put for C, we got to use P and C. C representing X, so that goes inside, so C's inside, P on the outside. Now, we are spending $32, so we got a minus 32. D, a reasonable domain for this solution is. So our domain is C, which is the number of cars. We have enough to wash 42 cars, so that means we can either have no cars or at most 42 cars. I would choose C because C is the total number of cars. And that's my domain. P of C with C on the inside is going to be the range. I need to put in each endpoints for my domains in for C in order to find my possible range. So 0 in for C, 4 times 0 is 0, minus 32 is minus 32. 42 in for C, 4 times 42 is 168, minus 32 is 136. And that's my range. And that's number 9. 10. Predict the next 3 numbers in the pattern. We notice that these are increasing by 2 each time, so we add 2 to get the next 3. So 18 plus 2 is 20. 20 plus 2 is 22. 22 plus 2 is 24. And that's number 10. 13. Tell whether the sequence is arithmetic. If it is, identify the common difference. At 8, 17, 26, and 35, you add 9 to each of them to get to the next one. 9 plus 8 is 17, 17 plus 9 is 26, 26 plus 9 is 35. So that means it is arithmetic and has a common difference of 9. And that's number 13.